Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm a relationship hack.
Run up and get touched up, suicide. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Run up and get touched up, suicide, that's it. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I got post-traumatic stress disorder, high blood pressure, a prescription for medical marijuana. I just quit smoking Newports and now I eat twice as much as I used to and cuss niggas out for no reason. My woman always be bitching about me taking her out, but I'm broke. Only got enough money to eat and to smoke. If not, somebody might get choked out. I keep a shotgun loaded right next to my bed and a machete under my pillow up under my head. I don't take threats lightly, but I be paying attention. I remember what that motherfucker said. I remember the nigga when his ass is dead. I be putting something to that head, saying talk now. Is you really ready to walk that walk now? I'm going home tonight, fuck what you saying. My nigga, is you about that life? Dealing with the bullshit, the stress and strife. No matter how hard you work, it don't get right. My nigga, is you about that life? I'm just saying, my nigga, is you about that life? Dealing with the bullshit, the stress and strife. No matter how hard you work, it don't get right. My nigga, is you about that life? I doubt that. Hope and pain, nigga, don't it seem strange? Ain't a damn thing changed, but the hope remain. Even though you voted for it in the last two campaigns, niggas use dope to relieve the pain. Motherfuckers want you to pay, but take away your license to drive into work. You can't even go fishing all this because of some lying ass bitch. We like sheep asking the wolf for justice. Fuck this, I'ma keep talking shit till they learn who they fucking with. I'm the mayor of Black Wall Street in this bitch. Don't do business with them devils cause they counterfeit. We need peace between the Bloods and Crips. We gon' need an army to do this shit. I'm about to ring the alarm. Wake up, organized and armed to protect your people in the middle of a racist storm. Unless you still about that life.
Ladies and gentlemen,
no matter how hard you
the
work,
So
it don't
What
get
Morning
right. My
Show
nigga, is you
back
about
in
that
the
life?
building.
Just saying, my nigga, is you about that life?
With yet another heater.
Stress and strife.
Y'all know who that is. That's the homeboy Truth.
My nigga, is you about that life?
Woo. Y'all got to go get that record. Y'all got to go get that album. It's on CD Baby right now. CD Baby, the album is called Balls to the Walls. Go get the album. That joint was called PTSD, one of my favorites on that album. As a matter of fact, my homeboy is making new music. You guys know how I do here on TRadioV.com. That's Radio NTV. Y'all know what we do. Before we even get into the topic, which is crazy, we got to support black businesses. And how I do that is I just direct you to certain places, like Weed Juice. Go on, get your weed juice. If you go to his website and type in We Live, W-E, We Love, W-E, Weed Juice. We is O-U-I. So, We Live, We Love, We Juice. You get 30% off. Right? So what, listeners? We Live, We Love, We Juice. Right? WeJuice.com. O-U-I Juice.com. Please support this brother. Hassan Kareem McCullough. All natural, cold pressed. The brother does it himself. You got to support him. Kobe Kaya. Damn vitamin energy coffee drink by some brothers. By a brother named Kobe McFarland, by the way. Good dude. Created his own business here. Kobe Kaya. He sends us some every week. You gotta support that man. What else we got? Oh, you know we got Black Mastery. VeronicaConway.com. The first neuro-linguistic programming software. She's on the line right now. I'll put her on the phone. Veronica Conway, let's go. BC, did you fall down? Is she there? Okay, we gotta move. We'll come back to her. Right? First neurolinguistic programming that undoes Willie Lynch. Narrated by Iyanla Van Zant. All the negative black recycled thoughts that we have. This sister out of the Bay Area, daughter of a Panther, created the neurolinguistic program that subliminally washes your brain of the bullshit you've been regurgitating through generational curses forever. It's just crazy. Go get it right now. Blackmastery.com. Go support the movement. Elephant. Somebody go to elephant.com and support these brothers. Tailored, fly, collegiate, royal. And brothers are doing it out of New York. If you like polo, and you know, Banana Republic and J. Crew, these brothers will get you there. Nice. No off the rack business here, man. Support these brothers. Elephant. They also are offering a 20% discount for all Zo What listeners. Arise Hospitality. Black owned. What is this? Office Depot? What is this? Staples? The black owned Staples? I mean, all the same stuff Staples got, they have. Black owned Office Max. Arise Hospitality. Go support those brothers. Sister out of Texas, the resumeguru.net. You know your resume need a makeover worse than Nene Leaks. Go on and get your resume worked over. She'll help you get work, man. Let's go get this bread. The resumeguru.net. Please check the sister out. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Mark Goulston. He has a bevy of books. I said bevy. Get out of your own way. Talking to crazy. Just listen. Also, what is it? Persuasion. What's that one?
Real Influence.
Real Influence. How to persuade people without being pushy.
Yeah,
Come on.
I know.
It's a great book.
It's gobbledygook. Go on.
No. It's a great book. I'm telling you guys. Go support that. And then again, my book. The book is out. I've had 5 straight days. It was interrupted today. 5 straight days of mailing out pre-orders. It's been crazy, right? I've just been stuffing packages, mailing them out, getting them to folks. If you want your copy right now, the relationship dismount, you got to go to imzowilliams.com and order your copy right now. I'm in hella mass mail out mode. So if you want yours, you got to get at me right now because supplies are limited. The relationship dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship. And if you just want a digital copy, you got to go to Amazon.com. Amazon.com, Kindle, download that, and you got it. Listen, does anybody else have anything to promote? I did. We about to take a quick break. Oh, no we not. Thank you. We got a sister in the building. An international singer. Her name is Precious. Princess. Thank you.
She is precious.
She is precious, by the way.
Thank
Jesus.
you.
She's in the building. We've heard some of her music. She's like a pop diva. Introduce yourself to the audience, Princess.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to Zo Williams. He's got some great stuff happening. My name is Princess Fortier. You can find my information on darafortier.com. That's DARAH. Fortier, FORTIER.com. And listen to some great music. I'm up to some great things. I want to feed the world. I want to eradicate world hunger with my music.
And where are you from, sister?
I'm from Stockton, California.
Yeah?
My family is from France, Haiti, the United States, all over the place.
And you talked about, I mean, a lot of people don't know about what's going on in Haiti in terms of the poverty, in terms of, you know, the cookie that they're eating. Could you break that down?
Yes, it's really, really heart-wrenching. If you look at this video, there are people making cookies out of dirt. Sometimes they add sugar or salt for a little more nutrition.
Right.
But they're literally avoiding starvation by eating mud cookies cooked in the sun.
Yeah, and this is her music in the background playing. What's the name of this song, sister?
This song is Unstoppable.
and it's not available. You don't like to do that, right? I like to play shit you can't get, right?
Go to my website. Go to my website, and you can buy music that is available. It's all uplifting.
When is this
Unstoppable
gonna
will
be
be
available?
available in 7 days.
Because this is a hit to me. Pop music. I mean,
Thank you.
I used to be paid to A&R music, and this is a record that can go somewhere. I can hear Disney. I can hear the Disney Channel. You know what I mean? This is a pop record. Why not you?
Why not?
Right?
Unstoppable.
We got enough Taylor Swifts out this piece.
Right.
Why not you? Let me hear a little bit of it. Turn it up. Okay, so you know what's crazy? I can just hear this, right? This sounds like Saved by the Bell, you know? I mean, and the reason why I'm naming all this shit because my daughter is home from school, so summer school. She's Disney Channeled up, so I can hear that, right? Why not? You know, why not? That's good music. Listen, I appreciate everybody for your support. Don't forget the relationship dismount. Oh, they told me to do this. The relationship dismount, right? Go ahead and get your copy. IamZoeWilliams.com. Order it right now. Hell, I know it's hundreds or maybe thousands of people listening right now. If 10% just went and ordered it right now, we doing big things. If 10% went to Amazon.com and bought a download of the relationship dismount, we're #1 on Amazon.com. Can we do that right now? Call to action. Anyway, I'm about to take a quick break, but when I come back, the topic, the Zoa Morning Show on T Radio V. That's radio in TV. Get at us. We'll be back at 2.2.
Try and stop me now.
Right here on the corner of 54th and Crenshaw, South Central Los Angeles. This is beautiful wigs. This is the Korean-owned hair store. They sell hair of all kinds. In your store here, what's the percentage of your business is Afro-American?
About 100%. 99.9.
Okay. In other words, 99.9%.
99.9. Okay.
Then up here on these walls right here, these racks, all the way around are the hair that's used for weaves and for extensions.
Janet Jackson, they come over here, pick it up, virgin human hair. Vivica Fox, I saw her several weeks, then I cut in style for her. I've been knowing him a long time. Okay. Richard Pryor.
Yeah, that's Little Richard.
Yeah, Little Richard.
This city alone only had 10 beauty supply stores 20 years ago. Now there are over 100 Korean-owned beauty supply stores. Oh, you're looking at a typical beauty supply store, Korean-owned beauty supply store. But all these products have one common denominator. They are all aimed at the Afro community.
Did you get a shot of my shoes? I'm so sharp I can cut carpet. Okay, top black ass answers on the board. Name something that black people spend their income tax money on.
A fake Gucci bag.
Drop top hoopty. A drop top hoopty.
The Asian tattoos on their neck where nobody knows what it means.
Family outing, a Gladys night, waffles and chicken.
New set of golf clubs.
Wet popsicles.
Chrysler 300 with the fake Bentley grille.
Global African people. And we had a caller just a moment ago who raised the economic dimension, and certainly, I guess, the economic possibility. I constantly have had conversations about the potential that we have in terms of being an economic force. And there's no point in repeating the numbers of us who are in churches, community organizations, and how in just one weekend, we could raise obviously enough money to create our own banking system in one weekend. Professor Wilson, that last caller was reaching out.
That's in part the effect of the self-hatred. which leads to a squandering of economic resources. The inability of the black community to use this tremendous economic wealth for its own interests is indicative of the issue that we're talking about here today.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get around to talking about, when I talk about the effects of dealing with self-hatred, one of the effects, of course, is the misspending of money. And
how so, though? How does that work?
Because the money is misspent, again, to relieve pain, you see, to compensate for inferiorities. And because the individual has been reversed, which we'll have to explain at some later point, you will see a situation where almost inevitably the spending for getting over an inferiority complex involves spending the money with the person who gave it to you in the first place.
I'm Rob Hubel from Welcome to the Jungle. You're watching T-Radio V, aren't you? Radio on TV. Terrible idea.
In TV.
You shut up. Use that one.
Radio V? Radio inside of TV.
Oh my God, I love it.
Keep it locked. You are the bomb. Mwah.
What better way? What? I can't think of a better intersection than radio and TV.
Right?
Hey, T-Radio V. Thomas Sadowski, what's up? T-Radio V.
I love T-Radio V.
Because we need more kids watching TV.
Hey guys, this is Chriselle Stiles. Hi, I'm Stassi.
I'm Joel David Moore.
I'm Frank Infante.
Hey man, this is Richie Ramone. What's up out there?
Yo, what's up? This your boy Kyle Master, and you're checking out
T-Radio V.
T-Radio V.
T-Radio V.
Hello, T-Radio V. Love you guys.
Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
T-Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Why is a white guy like me co-hosting a black radio show? I think toxic relationships cause you to take poorer care of yourself. That if you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send or coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind. Well, I figured out, I'm a medical doctor, and I figured out that all of us on the show, all the hosts and I, suffer from a sickness. We suffer from an illness. I have a quieter version of it, but we all suffer from this, and it's not curable. So can you throw up on the screen what we suffer from? Here we go. We suffer from pathological integrity. We are unable and unwilling to accept, tolerate, or go along with bullshit.
Wow.
That's who we are. And so, and today's topic's about economics and stuff like that. And I like to connect dots, and Zoe is going to like what I'm about to do with this book. Because this book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. Well, here's what I'm going to say to the black community. And I'm the white guy here, so you can all, throw me out. The black community needs to replace its toxic relationship with its anger that doesn't really get them anywhere with being smart economically. And one of the ways they can do that, and we've talked about this before, research has shown that in the next year, blacks will spend over $1 trillion. So any blacks, now this is not going to be a lot of blacks, unfortunately, but any blacks who are in the stock market, this is how you exercise block power instead of black power. If you're in the stock market, what you all need to do is short Walmart stock. Short means you're betting it will go down. All of you do that, and then everybody boycotts it. Because if you boycott Walmart, the next time the price earnings of the stock come out, it will take a hit. And if Walmart stock takes a hit because you decide, and you can go elsewhere, you can go to Target, you can go to Costco, you can go wherever, and it's just for a few months. But the world will take notice of you in ways in which it just won't as long as you're angry. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And here we go. As is commonplace, Dr. G alley-oops the topic. So today's topic, the human breadbasket, a deeper look into the black community and black economics, and we want to find out which ethnic group makes / siphons the most money off of black culture. Now we can go into the entertainment industry, right? They've been making money off of entertaining niggas for years, right? I mean, if you go back in the day, those Prince just came out recently and said all record contracts are slavery. Yep. He just said that. Yep. Right? So when we talk about people making money off of blacks,
church.
Who's making more money off of blacks? The Jewish people who control the entertainment industry? Is it them? Is it the church?
It's the Koreans in the black hair shops.
Is it the Koreans in the black hair shops? Who is taking and making the most money off of black people in America? Who's going to be the new African, Brother Darrell?
The new African right now, my brother, when we look at Africa, what's going on? The Chinese are buying up land like 40 going north. And you know black folks will copy anybody, will follow anybody. When the Arabs went over there in Northeast Africa, now we say we're Arab. In 5 years from now, we're going to be saying we Chinese.
Wow.
Nigganese. Nigganese. What's up with that, man? They buying land. The British, the American elite, they buying Africa up. And you know who's not buying, Zoe? Black people.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
And it's for sale. Ghana right now has stopped selling to all other cultures, all other countries, and they're waiting for black people from America to buy land.
Why do you think black people from America won't buy land or not buying land? What is the issue? What do you think?
We have a disassociation with the power of wealth, man. We've been programmed to be into poverty, but I blame the organizations on that. The NAACP, the Urban League, are poverty-minded leaders who go home in their Rolls Royces and their Bentleys and their Mercedes, but they program us with poverty and have us fighting for justice and all this kind of craziness while they build their wealth. And they teach us how to be broke and how to beg somebody, but they don't teach us what they're doing, how to build wealth.
So wealth building and nation building is the same thing. Veronica Conway, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Can you speak to what we're speaking on today? Have the African Americans of this country been relegated to being the ATM breadbasket for the rest of the world?
Liquid gold.
Are we liquid cash to everybody?
Yes, and I love what the brother said earlier, as money as a compensation for pain, right? It's for our inferiority complex. KRS-One said recently that, you know, when they came to Africa, they stole everything, right? And that the thief is inferior, right? Because we had it. We used to have economic systems. We used to have all of that, and then they stole it. And then they had to convince us that we were inferior, and now we spend over $1 trillion on our inferiority complex, right? Because we don't understand, like they were saying earlier about we have no relationship to wealth. So $1.2 trillion, we get it and it bounces once in our community and then it leaves our community. And
So-
I think that comes from being in a mindset of being the owned and not the owner.
Yikes. So, Veronica, the question now is, they once stole it, but are we now giving it away?
Yeah, we just give it back because we are anesthetizing ourselves through consumerism. And so as long as we're doing that, then we're by definition not nation building. By definition not nation building, because if we're going to nation build, then we have to take all of our economic resources and redirect them back inside of our community. That means buying from black businesses. That means making it your business to buy from black businesses. You shouldn't be in any other business except buying from black businesses.
Why do
That's
blacks,
the foundation of nation building.
let me ask, why do blacks value every other name brand but our own? That company I've been promoting, put that website up there. Elephant. Right? Put Elephant up there real quick. Brothers own this company. They're out of New York. You know what I've been getting back from most black people regarding this? They expensive, though. They too expensive.
Really?
You will stand in line, fight, and kill for a pair of Jordans. Now, Jordan is a black man who's on the front of, the face of the brand. But who facilitates and creates the brand? Nike. The Greek goddess of victory. Right? Run by white people. By a white man. Right?
Absolutely.
You will fight and kill for some $200, $300 sneakers. Retro J's. Right? But you won't spend $200 on a tailor-made shirt. First and foremost, most people think the name brand adds the value to the garment. Technically, wealthy people, a lot of wealthy people have their clothes tailored, and it doesn't have a name on it. It's not,
right.
The name is off the rack, and off the rack is technically cheap.
Inferior people, people with lower self-esteem, plug into the energy of Jordan the champion, and they feel like champions because they have not realized how to release that champion within themselves. So they look for it in the tennis shoe.
Wow. Somebody on Twitter just hit us real hard in the head real quick. He said, why isn't there any black liquor stores? Seeing that most liquor stores are in the hood. Well, every time you go into a goddamn liquor store, who own it? Especially in the hood. Who own that goddamn liquor store?
Asian, Iranian, or some other culture owns that liquor store, and that liquor store on the corners with churches and liquor stores and churches and liquor stores, and no serious business and no big tall buildings owned by black people. I don't care about other races coming to our community because they got to rent somewhere, Zoe.
Yeah.
But we can own the building.
How about it? Rent from us.
Rent from us.
Hey, we about to take a quick break. Humanity's Breadbasket. Niggas is always giving. We'll be back at 2.2, the voice of reason, hot button. I mean, this ain't hot button. This is T Radio V, goddammit. This is So What. We'll be back.
Hey geeks, wake up, we've got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie video game... Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV is coming to T-Radio V, Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
Now you done heard a lot of talk about me and my niggas. Them outlaw worldwide my figures. From triumph to tragedy, to right back on top, and niggas still mad at me for pushing that big truck on 24 square feet in ATL game lockjaw. Now that's what my nigga got shot for, being too motherfucking raw for this fuckboy. See the darkness, see the light, he wanna kill it. Misery loves company, and that's the real shit. But in 2004.
What it do is your man Money B from Digital Underground asking everybody to check out the Going Way Back show, your home for classic hip-hop, raw and uncut. Join me
and me, DJ Always,
as well as Ty Teasy, bringing you the old school new news every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here
on T-Radio V.
That's right, Radio in TV.
Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Do you think that the private mines run by the Chinese are more successful?
They are too much successful, yes.
A few years ago, these mines were derelict because the state couldn't run them at a profit. The Chinese have come in here with a minimum of investment in simple machinery and their skills, and they're helping Africa to become profitable.
Africa is rich in the commodities China needs to fuel its booming economy. Trade between Beijing and the continent has more than quadrupled since the year 2000. The capital, Lusaka. China first sent aid to Zambia in the 1960s, when Beijing propped up socialist regimes across Africa. Now the Chinese are back.
We've heard that China is now giving Zambia military aid, and to give you an idea of the extent of Chinese influence in the continent now, behind us is the main government building, also constructed by the Chinese.
Everywhere we saw signs that the Chinese are pouring into this former British colony. 200 companies have invested, many of them working directly for the Beijing government. More are on their way, and they're entering every sector of the economy.
To join us, maybe Glenn, let's start with you answering the question that seems to be always top of mind when we're talking China. What does China want out of Africa?
I think various things. Obviously, the one that always comes up is natural resources. But I think more and more China is seeing Africa as a new domestic market, or market for their domestic goods and consumer goods, and also seeing it as more and more a production base as well for their goods and services. We've seen the factory that's been built in Atlantis near Cape Town for make television sets and household goods, washing machines, fridges, and that sort of thing. So I think it's more than just natural resources. It's a trading partner and a long-term relationship, like everyone else seeing Africa as the next big thing.
Lynette, does that sound as if we're seeing almost an evolution in the trade basket between Africa and China?
Yeah, definitely. I think over the last decade, trade relations have definitely increased 11-fold almost. The numbers are staggering. And I think that it is more than just the pure minerals. I think that there's a lot of private sector companies from China coming into Africa. And I think that whilst there are still deals being done on a government-to-government basis, there is more private sector interest coming in now.
It's lunchtime. Sabino tells me that Chinese laborers in Angola will only eat familiar food.
Here, it's very hard to find rice, so we import rice from Thailand, from China.
So, to satisfy demand, Sabino says his countrymen are branching out.
The tomato is very small in Angola.
He takes me to a market garden outside Benguela, where Chinese farmers are harvesting their latest crops. Chinese farmers are buying land all over the country to grow food for not only other Chinese, but for locals as well. And in the cities, there is an increasing number of Chinese shop owners selling Chinese-made goods.
Se eles não estivessem aqui, não sei o que seria de nós. Está nos ajudar muito. Não podem sair do país, tem que continuar aqui. Está nos ajudar a aprender muita coisa. Muita coisa que nós não sabíamos, estamos a aprender com eles. Nós éramos preguiçosos, já sabemos construir casa e tudo agora, graças a eles.
And then on top of that, welcome back to the Zoe What Morning Show on T Radio V, that's Radio NTV. And then on top of that, they come in there with the racial overtones towards the Africans that they're doing business with. Well, we're not going to eat what you guys eat. We're not going to do what you guys do. This is China on African soil. And whatever racial biases that they had when they got there, they enforced them while they're there. Same thing happened when the Dutch went to South Africa and created a new kind of African, an Afrikaner, an Afrikaan. And now, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, they have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to be like, we're Africans. What do you mean? Africa's our home. We're Africa. Do you understand what's happening? And we just, listen, I'm going to set you up, Doc. I see African Americans, and Africa's all over the world because the Africans are all over the world follow African Americans. So I see us walking around like, what's the medical term for somebody who's smiling but they're depressed? You know, they don't look depressed. They're like functioning. They function. It's like a functioning alcoholic. Like there's nothing, you can't tell he's an alcoholic because he makes it to work on time, he pays his bills, but he's really sick. I see African Americans that way because when we assimilate into a system that's really designed to rape us financially, spiritually, mentally, psychologically, the whole nine, it's rape, right? But we keep a normal smile on our face, our head is up, and you understand what I'm saying? Dr. G, I'm trying to set you up here.
Tell me if and Veronica, I always like for you to weigh in on some of the stuff I say.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm speaking out of turn. I think when someone's mindset is consumed with surviving, the future is just too far away.
Damn.
I mean, when you're consumed with, and when you feel consumed with fear, pain, and powerlessness, and you feel no hope, you focus on what might give you some relief today, maybe make you smile today, as opposed to building something tomorrow. And I think until you get over, that fear or that sort of negative, learned helplessness. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you're going to change that. I'm on the board of advisors for this thing called Health Corps, which is helping inner city kids eat better and exercise. And what I keep telling them is, you can't take away comfort food when people are in so much pain. It's not just that the healthy foods are expensive; it's that some of these people, their lives are so awful. They're going to grab for what takes away the pain, and until you teach them a way to take away the pain and the fear and the awfulness of their life, they're going to reach for stuff that's not good for them. So, is any of this accurate? Weigh in. I've said my piece, and if it's relevant, let's talk about it.
Veronica, and then Daryl.
Yeah, so I've proven this over and over again in the nonprofit world. We went and trained about 250 case managers in the philanthropic world that were doing financial coaching for folks in the toughest cities in America, and we proved our model. And part of what we had to do was get people out of their identification with their current failure, their current set of failures, and get them connected to a vision. And when you did that, then they began to create agency and power, and they took charge of their lives. They didn't, right? It was a whole different, it changes the game. So Dr. G is right. when we are identified with our current circumstances, with our current reality, with our current set of failures, we become very paralyzed. We have actually got to see 5, 10, 15 years down the road to see what's possible for ourselves, our family, and the larger community. That's mandatory first step towards changing this game. Gotta get there.
One of the things also is intergenerational trauma. Handed down and passed down, learned helplessness, slave mentality, servant mentality, don't want to be a master because a master was a negative, so you can't even be master of yourself.
Damn.
Okay? Because we look at master as a negative. So, and all that intergenerational trauma, you can't do this, you black and ugly, shut up, go over there, be quiet, don't say this, don't stand up, don't do this, don't do that, don't disrespect him. All these connotations where the man, especially the man, the black man, not standing up and being who he is and the king and the warrior and the God that he is. And that's a problem. We've been broken down, but we allowed ourselves to be broken down because inside of each and every individual, there's a voice of power and command always telling us who we are, but we're afraid to listen.
God damn. You trying to tell me something, Daryl? Are you telling me that the poverty mindset is the real religion black people
It's the real
practice?
religion that we practice, poverty mentality, and it's taught to us through religion. You gotta wait to get to heaven to live a great life, paradise.
Wow.
And you're not creating your own heaven on earth. What happened to you, man, woman? You forgot how to create your own destiny?
You telling me Jesus said, suffer now?
Suffer now.
That's not what he said.
Suffer. Suffer is divinity, brother. Okay? For our people. It's not about suffering. You're not born to suffer. You're born to win. You're born to overcome all your challenges, all your problems. Step up to it. Step up to the plate. We've got a history. Mansa Musa was one of the greatest millionaires of his time.
They say it was worth $400 billion.
All right?
The richest man in
We've
history.
got the examples, but our radio shows and our TV, our black, we don't showcase our 30,000 plus black millionaires in America, our 6 black billionaires. We showcase athletes and entertainers.
Well, let me say this. This is to everybody here. Then are those black millionaires who are quiet part of the problem? They like the police officer. Let me just say this. Like that. You remember that police officer who just did the interview with Rogan?
Yeah.
He was on the Baltimore Police Department, and he came out and said, when that one cop was attacking that little black girl,
yes,
he says what happens is the normal response is, oh my God, there's a bad cop. He said the reality of it is there's 12 bad cops because the other 11 didn't say, hey, what the hell are you doing? So my question is, let's apply that same concept to the wealthy elite blacks who don't want to intermingle and do business with blacks that aren't doing as well.
I'm gonna challenge that.
Well, you gotta let me finish. You gotta let me set it up, Veronica. You know I'm gonna come to you, babe.
All right.
I always come to you. Let me set it up, boo thing.
All righty.
So maybe that's an angle. I always say, if you get somewhere, you know you seen that damn picture, that painting, where they show that brother over the wall, leaning over, grabbing another brother, pulling him up.
Exactly.
Right? I like to call out the elite to do more of that. Because are they doing enough, Veronica? Or yes or no? You tell me. Are they doing enough?
I've been very behind the scenes with the Afrostocracy, and I will
Afrostocracy.
say that at the very, very top,
formerly known as the Boule.
Go on, Veronica.
So I've been behind the scenes with the very elite of the Afrostocracy, and I would say at the very, very top, there's some real freaking shenanigans with the Boule and all of that. But one of the interviews that I've done is with Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, and he wrote The Wealth Choice. He spent 7 years traveling the country and interviewing all of the black billionaires and millionaires that were here in this country. It's a great book, by the way, The Wealth Choice, if you want to check it out. I did a private deep dive interview with Dr. Kimbrough, and he interviewed people in the context of what it took and where they started and what their journey was and the price that they had to pay. And I will tell you that over and over and over again, there were themes that emerged from people who had made it. And so oftentimes they're very humble, they're very quiet, and it's not that they don't interact with people of a lower socioeconomic status because they don't want to. Nothing could be further from the truth. Many of them simply are busy building the empire. And so I would say that it's time to stop entertaining and furthering this notion of that we're separate and begin to embrace the idea that we're together, because at the end of the day, we're all black, and they'll still shoot you like you're black.
No,
at the end of the day.
I agree. I agree with what Veronica is saying. I think the togetherness side, though, is really on the poorer side. I really believe, because I got family who bougie than a motherfucker. And I'm going to tell you, the bougier motherfuckers get, the more isolated and insulated they get from their community. And that needs to work out on the other side. I know when people who ain't got money, we be like, hey, it's all good.
Right. Yeah.
I got a box of chicken. You want some of this chicken, nigga? Share this biscuit with me. I know it ain't going down like that on the wealthy side of the game. Not as much as it should.
They scared
Can
to
I
get
give a
robbed.
solution that worked for me real quick?
You got 30 seconds.
All right. I say master yourself. I say stop spending $400 a month on weave. Go to Africa. It only costs $1,200 for a round-trip ticket. Understand that you are not separated. Learn about Ubuntu. I am because we are. Learn about how the property there is so cheap that you can buy 5 houses and connect like that, and you'll see.
Wow. That's a good idea.
Great point.
Hey, listen, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, the Zoe What Morning Show will be back on radio, TV and radio, radio and TV. You know how we do. We'll be back in 2.2.
You don't take control of your problems. You're supposed to be a superstar.
Hi, I'm Ty Simpkins. Miss Danielle Basutti. Hi, this is Brooke Peoples. I'm Jocelyn Donahue.
Hi, I'm Keegan Allen, and you're watching
T Radio V. T Radio V.
T Radio V, radio in TV. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
T Radio V. Yo.
T Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
And grew legs and they started walking, and the apes climbed down from
Relationship Dismount is a book that I created. It's a breakup and makeup book. But what's interesting about this particular book is I used gymnastics to come up with a concept based off of sticking the landing. Everybody knows that in a gymnast's routine, one of the most important and crucial to the success of that routine is how they end it, how they finish it. And I decided to come up with the concept of relationship dismount using this metaphor. Sticking the landing, how you end it is how you begin it moving forward. So we wanted to take that metaphor and really expound on it in the context of intimate relationships.
T Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Worse than that is in cities like Baltimore. Why would you in Baltimore be going around pushing the city to give you a minority set aside when you make up 65% of the population of the city? You are the majority. Nobody on earth is supposed to be that silly. I go to Detroit, Michigan, and I'm speaking to the legislature, and they said, well, Dr. Anderson, before you talk, we want to give you a plaque. And I said, no, before you give me a plaque, tell me what are you doing for black folk? They said, well, we got a 5% set-aside program downtown. I said, downtown where? They said, in the Office of Minority Affairs. I said, this city is 90% black. Why are you calling black folk minorities in a city where they're the majority? So, hey, somebody's elevator does not go to the second floor. Why you keep calling yourself a minority and trying to get a minority program when you're the majority? So the one white woman on the city council said, well, Dr. Anderson, well, if you, what do you want us to do? I said, in this city, the city council needs to pass a resolution saying that in this city, black people are the majority population. Once it's pointed out that you're the majority population, then it is against the law for other people coming in and rape and rob you through the government.
This chart to me represents beautiful, educated, moneyed black people all over America. It could represent black organizations, it could represent black churches, it could represent black social and civic organizations. And what you will notice about these beautiful black people all over America is that everybody is doing their own thing. Caught up in a Eurocentric value of rugged individualism, having forgotten that it takes a village to raise a child. There is no power here, brothers and sisters. There is no power here. Power is most effective concentrated. You can take a 55-gallon drum of water, spill it over, it will disperse, find its own level, and eventually evaporate. You can take that same 55-gallon drum of water, put it under pressure, put a lid on it, put a hose in it, put a nozzle on the end of that hose, and it can cut concrete. There is no power with us being disconnected. See, there's nothing wrong with dispersion. I live in Cleveland, you live in Atlanta. We have folk in the Caribbean, we have folk in Africa. That's dispersion. That's okay, but we do not have to be disconnected. We are a disconnected people. We are powerless in disconnection. This is where all the power is. You see? This is where all the power is. Whether you are at the center of your own network or part of someone else's network, this is where the power is.
So I speak oftentimes about the fear connected to creating the web Brother George just spoke of.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking web, that connected web, I promise you, is a terrorist act. I always talk about this. It's a fucking terrorist act. And I think, along with the conscious who are aware of it and the unconscious who are individualized, isolated, insulated, because he just talked about what I spoke of earlier about isolated and insulated when you get wealthy. You move out of your hood and you move into white folk land. Tell me I'm bullshitting. Do niggas just, it's almost a rite of passage for wealthy niggas is to move away.
They move away from the liquor stores.
They move away from, instead of buying the liquor store. I'm just saying. Is it me? I think niggas are scared to get together. If niggas ever got together, the government would look at us different on multiple levels. Hey, how about this? On a positive note, they might take us serious for once. On a positive note, you know what? If money is a game, it's monopoly with real consequences, they might be willing to do business with us because now the money has leverage.
They would be forced to.
Now it's, okay, we want to play this game. Oh, you guys got some leverage now. You motherfuckers come to the table now with a little leverage, huh? Let's see.
Willie Lynch.
You see what I'm saying? But I think because it's a terrorist act, just like somebody, Dr. Amos just said in his video, overnight we could create our own banking system based off of the amount of money we spend annually.
1.6 trillion.
Overnight, our own banking. I'm telling you, that's a fucking terrorist act. And I believe, Veronica, check me, but I believe the boule and the black elite don't want us to come together like that. They'd rather keep getting crumbs from the master's table and living where they live. They don't want us to come together like that because if we do, it fucks it up for everybody. Why? Because all black people is on the list now. Let's not act like motherfucking
I'm pushing
Black
back.
Wall
I'm
Street
pushing
didn't
back.
happen.
So the boule may not want that. But here's what I find that happens more than often. I find that people that are coming from the hood actually have fear of being around people that are more successful than they are because then you got to let go of your look good. And I'm saying that if you want to build the nation, then you have to find a way to get yourself to where people that are getting the shit done are.
Yes.
Because oftentimes it's like I coach George. George Frazier is my client. I've known George for 10 years, right? And we're very, very close. And no Claude Anderson. And so what I'm saying is that those brothers are busy getting it done. And we have to stop whining that they're not finding their way to come to us and figure out how to get with them because they're already putting things in motion that they've been doing for 20, 30 years that are for us. But we have to get over ourselves and get over our inferiority complex and get over our money story.
This is why we love Veronica. When you throw her an alley-oop, she gonna take off from the free throw line with a blindfold on.
I have a question. How do we learn to trust each other? Because I'm going to tell you, I learned about Susu savings. It's an African savings technique where everyone puts in a certain amount every month or every week, and we spread it around via lottery. I don't trust niggas to pay me my money, or to continue to pay. I feel like I don't trust them to do that.
You don't trust niggas?
Yeah, I don't.
Just to say it.
How do I get?
I don't trust niggas.
I don't. So how do I get over that? I would like to know that.
Veronica, push back on that.
No, it's interesting. It's one of the things that I address in the Black Mastery program. So part of what we have to begin to do is really get honest about our internalized racism. Right? We've been trained and conditioned over 400 years in this country that we are inferior. So we have learned to subconsciously hate ourselves, and then by definition, we extend that to other people. Now, mind you, there's plenty of evidence in this world about black people that do you wrong. But I think it's not about trusting other people. I think it's about trusting yourself and how you respond to other people and setting up mechanisms that ensure that agreements are kept, setting up mechanisms for accountability. Right? So I think it's about trusting yourself and trusting how you're going to interact no matter what somebody else does,
I can do that.
how you're going to respond.
How much do you think it's, to build on what Princess said, believing that other people will hit on you? You know, you get some money, people will hit on you or try and lay a guilt trip on you, or you owe us, or we're entitled. And it may even be that some of the people who clawed their way to success know what they needed to do, know what they had to, and who they had to hit on to get where they are. And so maybe there's a belief, well, now that I got some of my own success, I project on everyone else less than me that all they're going to be doing is hitting on me.
Wow.
And I just don't want to be around it.
Wow.
Is any of that, you think any of that's going on?
Fear of success.
Fear and money don't go together. Yeah. I know that. Fear and wealth, that's a toxic relationship. And a lot of, as Veronica stated so eloquently, a lot of black people have a toxic relationship with money.
People have to do internal work, brother. They have to get
Yes.
over themselves.
Yes.
You see, all that non-trust issue, all that is a programming in your subconscious mind that you've been programmed not to trust. And you have to take hold of yourself and control of yourself and start trusting your damn people.
How about taking the definition of normal back?
Absolutely.
See, because the definition of normal is white life. Am I bullshitting? The definition of what is normal, what you should have, that's normal. Your black ass didn't write that definition.
Right. And these millionaires,
How about
you're
that?
absolutely right. And these millionaires that Dennis Kimbrough is talking about, these 30,000 plus millionaires in America, okay, we have to understand most of them came from less than nothing. They came from the hood that you're talking about.
Correct.
We know that poor people, they maintain their wealth. They show their wealth by clothes and cars. That's how they show what their wealth is. That's how they keep score. The middle class keeps score by their titles and degrees, but the wealthy keep score by their bank accounts. Okay? So it's a whole different level of mentality.
That's heat.
You got broke folks with PhDs, dog.
I know them. I know some broke motherfuckers
All right.
with a gang of high-end degrees
All right. What did you
that can't pay off their motherfucking student
You
loans.
hear what I'm talking about?
I know these people.
All right? PhD, po hungry and desperate.
You feel me?
MBs, masters at being broke. Come on, dog.
Dr. G?
You know, I've been speaking to a lot of women about how do they get powerful just in the workplace, and this is black, white, any kind of women, and a number of them said that they didn't have now some of these are younger, so they don't have some of the older biases, but they say they don't have a problem. They say wherever I go, I just focus on getting stuff done. If you're someone who can get stuff done and you don't get distracted in excuses and whatever, you know, people respect you. And when you run into a roadblock, you work around it. You work through it. You don't belabor it. And a number of these women, they just get stuff done, and they're undeterred. And they actually know that getting angry is just a distraction, because then it triggers other people, and then afterwards they have to calm down. And it's amazing. And I'll tell you, you know who's like that? Veronica.
Veronica is like that.
You just get stuff done. You know, the best revenge is just getting stuff done.
How about it? I think Tony Robbins said that. The greatest revenge is becoming massively successful.
Yeah. But the way to do it is you get stuff done. I mean, it's amazing when I ask people about there's a saying, people don't care what you know, and they don't care what you can do until they know what you've already gotten done that made a difference.
How about it? Shit.
Right. That's
Also,
right. That's right.
let's just and Veronica, I'm gonna stay on their heads. You know how I get out. I'm gonna stay on their heads. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the black elite. The bourgeoisie. I gotta stay on their heads.
Stay on them.
Do these motherfuckers suffer from drapetomania?
It depends. Some of them do, but some of them don't.
Some of them do.
Some of them
Some
do.
of them don't. Many of them are progressive. Many of them want to see you win. You can walk by a millionaire right outside today and won't even know who he is, because our media, black media, is not promoting our millionaires. You know about the Warren Buffetts, you know about the Gates, you know about the white millionaire, but you don't know about these. There's a new brother every day, every month. There's a new young man, black person, becoming a millionaire off technology. We don't even know about
Don't
him.
even know his name.
So they're not role models, because what you see is what you want to be.
How about it?
I see athletes, I want to be an athlete. I understand I want to be an athlete. But if I see millionaires from different examples in society, I can do that too.
How about it? Veronica?
Yeah.
This shit is
so
turned
here's
up
the
right
thing,
now.
And I want to really help you understand this, because when I climbed the ladder and began to meet the black Afrostocracy, there were parts of my heart that got broken by black people. And every person that climbs that ladder and attempts to create powerful things for their community suffers heartbreak. And part of the heartbreak that they suffer is that black folks fundamentally, financially, do not support shit that means something for them. And I don't think that people understand the price that some black leaders pay that are progressive and conscious to set a table for your ass so you can come figure out. It's like George. The price that he pays every year, every day, he sacrifices his life. So does Claude Anderson. They sacrifice their life. Last time I talked to Claude Anderson's office and trying to get him to come to this show, the woman said Claude Anderson is afraid that it's too late because black people won't step up and do what they're supposed to do. So at some point, as a black leader, you become heartbroken at the apathy and the inertia that exists in our community for people to not stand up and do what the fuck they're supposed to do.
See, this is why I love this dynamic. I love creating and fucking with people and asking the questions, right? And the reason why is because we have to have this dialogue. But B, we have to put in motion, after the conversation has been had, we have to put in motion what we're going to do. Listen, I'm going to hit you with questions that you didn't think about. And then you're going to say, God damn, I never thought about that. And then I'm going to say, okay, now that we've thought about it and we've discussed it, how do we execute a plan of action? Because what I believe, and you guys can check me on this, it's part of my setup. You guys can check me on this. What I believe is the monetary system in America is a game.
Absolutely.
It's a fucking fiat currency. It's not worth shit. And at any given moment, when they decide to shift the governmental construct, what you thought was a middle class life or a wealthy life could change fucking overnight.
Absolutely.
So while there's a game, like your brother said, he said, don't hate the player and don't hate the game. Learn to play the game. So if we're playing a real life fucking Monopoly, why not unify within this game of Monopoly so we can control a massive part of the board? Because that'll force them to change the fucking rules. I promise you. That's why I say it's moving yourself into harm's way.
Right. But we got to get with like-minded people. And first of all, brother, you talking about these black elites, Zoe. I'm about to get on your ass.
Get down, man.
You talking about black elites. There's a lot of black people in the hood that look at you as a black elite.
Me?
You.
No.
Radio shows? Come on. You elite to some people.
No.
All right?
Hey, if they saw his bank account, they'd think different.
Yeah. I'm talking about the image. Books and things.
Hey.
And I want to show something about recycling black dollars. Is that your book over there, brother?
That is.
How much is your book?
It is $23.
It's easy. Well, I'll give you the other three. Give me that book. This is recycling black dollars in your face. You see this? But this is a $23 book, but it's $1 million worth of information in here. So this is valuable to me. It changes my life. So we recycle black dollars, and that's how easy it is.
Man. Brother, that's the rest of it.
Yeah, that's the rest of it. Should I tear out 2 pages, bro?
Keep the change.
Should I tear out 2 pages?
Tear out the cover.
Keep the change. Keep the change.
I'll read it till you're on the phone.
Yeah,
but I will
you
say
go.
this. I will say this. To that point, I am a fucking elitist.
You are.
But
What's
not.
wrong with elite?
But when I say I'm a spiritual elitist.
Good.
Fuck that.
Fuck it. You wealthy.
I'm on some God shit.
That's right.
Some internal God shit.
Prove that shit.
And it is not determined by whatever accolades I somehow accrue in this society.
Teach.
So many people are defined by the benchmarks of success in this society that they are the benchmark. And it's like, no. The benchmark is the reflection of you. It's not you. But somebody, hey, my name is George. Oh, hi, George. I'm a doctor. No, Nick, you practice medicine.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm a real estate agent. You understand what I'm saying? No.
Titles.
You're something more than what you do. But in this society, you are what you do.
No,
you are your accomplishment.
You are what you have.
You are what you have.
Which is uglier.
But that's the Monopoly game.
It's not. You are what you
I
are.
love Veronica.
You are
Veronica's my girl. She itching. Come on, B.
Go on, Veronica.
Okay, but here's the thing. There is no conflict between spirituality and choosing to collect and create wealth on this planet in whatever configuration that it's in, even if
Not
it's
at all.
fiat currency. And here's why. See, one of the things that you have to understand, it's like if you look at companies like DET or Essence Magazine, right, the reason or even the dude that invented the internet, right, that invented, Network Solutions, all of those people that own those black-owned media outlets and television outlets and internet stuff, when they came around to black people and said, help us buy this so that we can, let's gather the money to buy this so that we don't have to sell it to the white man, so that he's not in control of the images and the media that comes into our brain. And when they did that, black folks would not gather up and rally around and support that. So now those are all white controlled. And so now we have white people infecting our minds with their view of us because we didn't have the fucking courage, the courage to decide to have money, to decide to take control of our own black assets, that we're going to program our own black children. We didn't have the courage to do that. So there's nobody that's responsible for that but us.
I agree.
I say.
100%.
That's right.
This nigga talking about buying some computer shit. I ain't spending my money on that, nigga. I'm about to get some new rims, though. It's a fucking... Hey, it's a Travis Shamockery. Listen, we about to take a quick break, but when we come back, how in the hell can the African American community stop feeding the world's 1%, top 1%? We keep BMW rich. We keep Audi rich. We keep Mercedes-Benz rich. How the fuck can we stop feeding, being liquid cash to the top 1% when we come back? Holla! In chapter 10, we talk about the difference between being embittered, embattled, or embittered. So, if you're embittered, of course you're holding on to things. You're resentful. You're resistant. If you're embattled, you're fighting. No, I don't accept that. I don't want that. But if you're open and you're allowing the process to unfold and flower within you and beyond you, you have an opportunity to become embittered. And chapter 10 goes into detail on how to stop being embittered, how to stop looking for the win by being embattled, and how to evolve and expand to a space of embitterment. I mean, it's an incredible work, man, and I'm excited about it.
You've been chasing after short
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy Crazy Bone.
Man, I'm the bum Keith G, man.
And whenever you sitting at home and can't shake the monkey off your back,
yeah,
then just know every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m.
Right.
You can tune in to the Quick Fix and get your fix on, man.
Right here on TRadioV.com, baby.
Radio and TV.
Dog, how they gonna see us on the radio then?
Radio, I don't know. Or is it TV and radio?
But it's one of them. I gotta figure this radio and TV thing out though, bro. I don't understand. I'm gonna tell my mom how she gonna see
us.
Get
it together.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T-Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T-Radio V. That's radio in TV.
Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
Brought slaves from slavery all the way up to owning 5-star hotels, owning casinos, owning the largest segment of McDonald's franchises, owning oil fields, hiring nearly every black person in the United States. That's capitalism. Communism didn't do that. You idiot black people, who the hell convinced you that that was okay? You know what? The friggin' rich white people, they can sit, eat bonbons, and do all that crap. You don't have that luxury. Wake the hell up. communism, anti-capitalist meeting. My entire channel is dedicated to the Pan-African cause. That means that the African man is equal to the European man. That can only be achieved when we're on the same economic status as white people.
A perfectly even distribution of wealth among all living people, with everyone divided into 5 equal groups. Now, let's show how much each group actually has. Shocking, right? 80% of the world's people barely have any wealth. It's hard to even see them on the chart. Meanwhile, the richest 2%, they have more wealth than half of the rest of the world. Let's look at this chart another way. Let's take the whole world's population, all 7 billion of us, and reduce it to just a representative 100 individuals. Here they are, poorest people on the left, richest people on the right. Now let's show how the world's total wealth, roughly $223 trillion, is distributed. The vast majority have practically nothing. Nothing with which to educate their children, nothing with which to pay for basic medicines. While the richest 1%, they've accumulated 43% of our world's wealth. The bottom 80%, meanwhile, that's 8 out of every 10 people, have just 6% between them. But even this doesn't really show how extreme things have become. The richest 300 people on Earth have the same wealth as the poorest 3 billion. So the number of people it takes to fill a mid-sized commercial aircraft have more wealth than the populations of India, China, the US, and Brazil combined.
So, here's that ideal we asked everyone about. Something like this curve. This isn't too bad. We've got some incentive, as the wealthiest folks are now about 10 to 20 times better off than the poorest Americans. But hey, even the poor folks aren't actually poor, since the poverty line has stayed almost entirely off the chart. We have a super healthy middle class with a smooth transition into wealth. And yes, Republicans and Democrats alike chose this curve. 9 out of 10 people, 92%, said this was a nice, ideal distribution of America's wealth. But let's move on. This is what people think America's wealth distribution actually looks like. Not as equitable, clearly, but for me, even this still looks pretty great. Yes, the poorest 20 to 30% are starting to suffer quite a lot compared to the ideal, and the middle...
I just laugh. You know why? Because all that shit could be eradicated if the bottom portion of the graft just said, fuck it, we're going to use our shit together. We're going to link our little portion together. When we link it together, that, trust me, that creates an oppositional force to the 1%. The 1% are going to be like, who the fuck are you to try to become the 2%? Mm-hmm. And now we got a war. This is the reason why they create the separation.
We have to understand that wealth is not about money, it's about courage.
Say more.
Okay? Wealth is not about money, it's about courage. It takes courage to go out there and create your reality. It takes courage to manage your money. It takes courage and risk to grow your money and a belief in self. Okay?
So now you're coming back to my ultimate point of doing this fucking show.
Yeah. And that chart up there is bullshit because a lot of it is mental. Okay, a lot of those poor people are thinking poor. If you split up all the money in the world evenly to everybody on the planet, it would end up back in that 2%'s pocket because it's a mindset. What did you say earlier? What did you say? Skill and will. Skill and will. If you're not ready to grow and in your courage and in command of yourself and in your vision and your belief of self and go out and do the damn thing, you'll end up back way down there crying about what you don't have and did not take the advantage of the opportunities that were before you.
So during the break, Daryl and I were getting into a discussion that we stopped because we're going to continue it here.
Mm-hmm.
What I said to Daryl is that, a lot of people will hear you and listen to you and they'll say, it'll work for you, it won't work for me. You got courage, you got drive, you got all this sort of stuff. So they discount themselves, and they're not even doing it consciously, but they're out of the game. So here's what I would say is that is if listening to you is like drinking from a fire hose, and it's all good stuff, and I can follow it, but I'm not in that bottom 1%, thankfully. Right. So what would be a small taste of something to that 1% where you give them a taste that what they do can make a difference in their life? What would be the smallest swallowable thing? You said that everybody wants to make money, so if we can get granular, because a lot of your energy is filled with sound and fury, but that big graph, most of them are just going to say, oh boy, is he passionate? Boy, is he smart? Boy, is he someone I could never be. So what are some specific things to that person, in the bottom 10%? We won't even go to the 1% where you can show them, if you do this, and I want input from anyone here, if you do this today, this is what you will see, not a year from now, but this is where you will see that what you did actually made a difference in your present and your future life. What would that be?
Get a jar. Stop buying stuff. I don't care if it's $1 at the 99-cent store. I don't care if it's 50 cents at a garage sale. If every time you have an urge to buy some shit, if it's not an asset, meaning if it does not bring money to you, don't buy it. Put it in a jar. Watch that jar grow. It'll put your mind in it'll activate your reticular activation system in your mind and create you looking for ways to make that pot grow. And then I don't know what to do next, but I think that's what I've been doing. And so I don't make a lot of money as a singer yet. I have made a lot of money.
It's coming.
It's coming, but I'm never broke, ever, because I don't buy shit. I buy assets. I don't buy liabilities.
Powerful. I was going to say that too. The jar is a very powerful thing to save your money and then put your extra money in that jar every day and make that a discipline for yourself and put it in your jar. And then I would say, take a book and learn about financial literacy, rich dad, poor dad for kids, for teenagers. We got Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dennis Kimbrough. Start studying and learning about what the wealthy do and stop studying about what the poor do.
See, because you're saying something that's I'm going to go more philosophical. To me, wealth is knowledge.
Yes.
And the more you know, your life will begin to reflect that. Yes. Like, for instance, a very nice car is a reflection of your knowledge. How you got it, right?
Yes.
We have it in reverse. Get the shit, and then people will value me because I got the shit. See, you understand? So when I talk about wealth, I'm talking about that internal awareness.
You define it.
Right? That internal connection to the divine source of all that is creative.
Yes.
You can create this. The brother walked in and asked me, how long did it take you to write your book? I said 6 weeks. What? Yeah, it took me 6 weeks to write the book. It took another 3.5 years to edit it because it was so much shit. But it took me 6 weeks. What was your plan, Zoe? Oh, well, I got up every morning at 6 a.m., did a little meditation, had a sister call me from North Carolina with, and this is here. I'm giving you the blueprint for how to do it. I had previously written up 500 questions about all things relationships. The sister called me every morning at a certain time. Are you ready? She asked me those questions. I answer those questions. She's listening. It's being recorded. She then takes the recording, transcribes it. 5 weeks later, she sends me 600-700 pages of transcribed information that has been distilled down into 182 pages. Do you see? It was the God in me. Okay, I can bring this forth. Then you surround yourself with people who understand the process. People who are smarter than you about the process, right? Editors, formatters, graphic people. You know, they come in and go, oh, I see, damn, this is dope. And next thing you know, you have something of value. But if you one of those motherfuckers who are sitting there waiting for some instant gratification, don't write a book. Do you understand? That's the society we live in. It's microwavable. If I do something, I want the return to come back instantaneously. Right? That's just not how it works. Kevin Hart been in the game for over 20 years. He just got rich and famous. Steve Harvey didn't get wealthy until he was 44, 45. He'd been working the comedy chitlin circuit for years. You know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
You got to put the work in.
You know, you just said something that I hope the listeners will listen to. I think we all know much more than we think we know, but we need to have the question asked of us to bring it out. And I think if you went through some sort of an exercise where you just did a brain dump of all the questions about a subject, forget about the answers, but just start writing any questions and then have a friend ask you or answer the questions. It's amazing what you'll draw out of yourself, but a lot of times most people, without that question to draw it out of them, they're just like a deer in the headlights of a car, like, huh? But I don't think it's just an accident that you're doing that brain dump on all the questions, possible questions about relationships you just did, and then you had someone who took the loneliness out of doing it by saying, here, let me read them to you, and then you answer them. I think that's a great way to approach anything.
How about it?
Yeah. The programming goes deep because we are taught, I don't know, when you were growing up, go to school, get an education, and get a good job. Just over broke. We're not taught, go get some education and get a business. Go get an education and learn how to invest. We are doing middle class and poor people mentality where we're not doing rich and wealthy mentality, and it's all a mentality. When we go into schools and teach youngsters, I'm talking about middle schools and high school, we take a class and we take our computer and we show on screen and we show them how to make a trade on the stock market, how to make a trade on the Forex market. Those young people get so excited about that with these fake accounts in real time, Doc. Real time, and they see the money they can make. They say, wow, I can just do this on my computer and make money like that? Come on. That's a skill. And they want to learn that skill and grow in that skill and master that skill. And in the privacy of their own home every morning, they can just trade and get paid.
Wow. Shit. Some bullshit going on. I'm going to tell you what we got. And it's a mentality of maintaining mediocrity.
Yes.
See, that's what economic brackets represent.
Masters of mediocrity.
That's what it represents. The educational system is integrated into the economic system.
Yes.
You got to have the degree in order to get the job. The job puts you in a fucking tax bracket. The tax bracket is, you got to maintain that shit by getting up every day, by paying. You get paid for your time.
Teach.
Your time is the shit that is worth more than the money you being paid with.
What they say, A and B students end up working for C and D students?
How about
Come
it?
on.
Fucking C and D student became the goddamn president.
Why? Because what you said earlier, creativity is wealth.
But I don't want you to fucking create nothing. If you create something, you're living free. Do you understand?
Correct.
Yes.
Creation is tantamount to freedom.
Yes.
Creation are producers. Right? TD Jake says we're not producers. Okay, so we're not producers, we're consumers. So that means we're not creative, we're just consumptive.
You missed one, though. Everybody can be a distributor.
How about it?
Come on.
But let's create some. First off, the distribution is the net George was talking about.
Yes.
Right? Instead of living an isolated, insulated life, I got this, I went to school, I did this for myself and mine. Become a distributor of what we're all doing. We have to create the Silk Road of ideas. I'm just saying. I hear the music, motherfucker. Fuck you. I'm taking a break. That's what the music is for. We turned up in here, man. Don't turn no goddamn music on when we turned up. Okay, we'll be back in 2.2, the Zoe Morning Show.
Evolution is revolution.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy Crazy Bone.
Man, I'm the bum Keith G, man.
And whenever you sitting at home and can't shake the monkey off your back,
yeah,
then just know every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m.
Right.
You can tune in to the Quick Fix and get your fix on, man.
Right here on TRadioV.com, baby.
Radio and TV.
So how they gonna see us on the radio then?
Radio, I don't know. Or is it TV and radio?
But it's
one of them.
I gotta figure this radio and TV thing out though, bro. I don't understand. I'm gonna tell my mom how she gonna see
Get
us.
it together.
Hi, I'm Sheriff John Bennell. You're watching T-Radio. Radio and TV? What? That was perfect. Why are you asking me to do this after 12 drinks?
T-Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Then all of a sudden, racism and the whole issue switched. Slavery all switched from being a religious issue. It became a biological issue. When it became a biological issue, all governments mandated that you must put a person's race on his birth certificate, driver's license, whatever it is. It became a biological issue. But the race was over then. When the race was over, they looked around. And since whites had used slavery for so long, whites own everything. Almost 100% of everything, 99 to 1.5% belonged to the dominant white society. The slave owned nothing. The white was on top, the black was in a ditch. The race was over. When the race was over and blacks had nothing and whites had everything, the race ended. And what the society did then, they took the word race, R-A-C-E. They scratched the E off the end of race and stuck a suffix called ISM. ISM is a suffix which means keep the prevailing conditions, let nothing change. And that's where racism came from. The race was over. Whites wanted, they had everything. They took the E off the end of the word and stuck ISM. That's what racism is. Racism is a competitive relationship starting out to get wealth and resources and power. But what they teach you now is that racism has something to do with liking people, getting along with people. That's not racism.
My decisions on the basis of my moral commitment, and I take my ministry very seriously. I would not say that the civil rights movement is dead. It's simply that we are moving to a new phase of the movement. For well now 12 years, we struggled to end legal segregation and all of the humiliation surrounding legal segregation. So it was a struggle for decency. It was a struggle to get rid of extremist behavior toward Negroes. Now we are in a new phase, and that is a phase where we are seeking genuine equality, where we are dealing with hard economic and social issues. And it means that the job is much more difficult. It's much easier to integrate a lunch counter than it is to guarantee an annual income. It's much easier to integrate a bus than it is to get a program that will force the government to put billions of dollars into ending slums. It's a wonderful thing to work and be concerned about integrating public accommodations, or integrating the public schools, which I will continue to work for with vigor and with zeal. But I've also got to be concerned about the survival of a world in which to be integrated. And these issues to me are tied together in that sense.
Maybe integration was the devil. Maybe integration was the problem. Integrating in a society that has a social construct, as Brother Anderson, Brother Claude said, racism, the ISM, the ism is continuous. That's like, the ISM is like the ING, the suffix of it, right? The race was already won, but we're going to keep this infrastructure in place. Now, as time goes on, the people who originally put the infrastructure in place, because it's there and it's working on autopilot, become kind of oblivious to it. They don't even know that it's there. They don't even know that it still exists.
Right. It's like the Matrix.
Right. So you got young African Americans that are saying, well, what racism? What are you talking about? They can't even see it. We live in a different time. It's not like how it was when y'all was young. But the reality of it is, the ism of racism is still in effect and working on autopilot. So what I'm saying for brothers and sisters, the money game is not real. It's an actual game. So learn to play the game. But when you learn to play the game, learn to play it from a collaborative space, right? If I drive through the Jewish neighborhood and I pass 2 of their schools, which is located in walking distance from their homes, that means they're in control of that neighborhood. That's just what that means. If I drive through that neighborhood and their school is right there, walking distance from the crib, and you see them walking their kids to school, and when you do business with Jewish people I play hoop with this one Jewish guy, and he's the only Jewish guy outside of Dr. G that just keeps it fucking real. I go, the time of the Moors is coming back. And he goes, we're never going to give up power to you. We own it all. Just get used to us owning. That's what he tells us. This is what he tells us on the basketball court.
Affirmation.
He said, I don't give a fuck about who created it, Zoe. You created it. But I control it. We have this ongoing battle on the court. You know what I'm talking about? We call him Porno Mike. That's just his nickname. He's not in porn or anything like that. Somebody nicknamed his ass Porno Mike, and we've been calling him Porno Mike for years. But Porno Mike he's actually a director. He's actually a movie director. Play hoop. I've been playing hoop with him for like 10 years. Said, we own it, Zoe. We're never going to give it back, Zoe. When you say banking, just say Jewish, Zoe. It's our shit. We're not giving it back, Zoe. Right? Just take it out on me on the court because it's the only place you can do it at. You know, he's an ass. Right? But he's cool, but he's an ass. But he tells the fucking truth. So all I'm saying to brothers and sisters, stop living the life that they wrote the script for. You're a fucking actress, an actor in his life script for you. His life script says you're beneath him. You're not beautiful unless he says so. Fat asses are not in unless a fat ass white person, right, says so, right? Or close to white, Kardashian, whatever. We need a white ass to validate fat asses, right? We need a white face to validate beauty. We need a white face to validate power. That's what listen, your role in his script is one of servitude. Tell me I'm lying.
Write your own script. Yeah. Be the star on your own movie. Direct your own show called Your Life. Stop getting into everybody else and get into you. You can control your own destiny. We're only going to be as strong. You talk about the chain, the collective. The chain is only going to be as strong as the link. So if the links don't get strong, there's no strong chain.
Right.
Yeah, but I think I don't think Zoe would have gotten his book written. He had all the questions. He needed a collaboration with another person. He needed the body and mental heat between him and another person. So I think you got to pull together as a team, because years ago he told her in my book, Get Out of Your Own Way, I wrote about procrastination, and the spin I had on it, we procrastinate not because we're lazy, but because we're lonely. And the
because we're lazy.
And the reason for that is because a lot of times when we were children, there was a lot of pain there, and we said to ourselves, when I get older, I'm never going to revisit this pain. A lot of the things you procrastinate on are painful, and it triggers that feeling. Right. And that's why you can get stuff done. If you went to school, sometimes you couldn't get the dorm clean unless you all did it on a Saturday. There's a little organization called AA where none of these people could stay sober if it wasn't for a team and people saying, just put on a coat, we're going to a meeting. No, I'm not listening to you, we're going to a meeting. So how do you get the black community to not be like that thing that, I don't know if it was George Fraser who showed you the picture and everyone's doing their own thing. How do you get people to team together? Because without it, what happens is you just hit one hiccup in the road and you go back into that powerlessness and you go back, well, I'll do it tomorrow. So how do you get them to pull together at an organic level and then grow as a community, as opposed to all these people you say, yeah, you can do it. Well, they get pumped up, and then when you leave, you're the pump.
Right.
Wow.
When you leave, they just deflate. So how do you create a connectedness, a fabric of success?
Veronica?
Yeah, well, there's two things I want to say about that. I think that a lot of times, let me say this and still be loved, because I talk to black entrepreneurs, people, jobbers all over the world, really. And I would say that the fundamental fear that we have is one of owning our lives. And entrepreneurship is a function of owning one's life. But what it ultimately means is that you are responsible. You're responsible for everything that happens. You eat what you kill. And I think that when I first talk to people, a lot of people are afraid of that level of responsibility and accountability because we don't trust ourselves to act like the owner. We don't trust ourselves to do it. The second thing, to speak to Dr. G's point, is that's why I create online environments for people, because oftentimes we don't have support and we don't have ways to sort of stay in motivation and accountability for doing the bigger, more risky things in our lives. So we become afraid to risk because we're afraid to fall. And so you have to create environments for people. That's what I've spent my life doing, is creating environments for people where they can risk and win and fail and stumble but still get back up again. We get so afraid to risk because we're so afraid to fall. It paralyzes us as a community.
Add to that.
Yes, please, really quickly.
I want to add to that. When we talk about team, we are doing teamwork with teams and gangs, with teams in sports. We know how to work as a team. We're just working on the wrong things as a team. So we have to, those of us who are of like minds have to hook up with people who are ready to do something collectively. It doesn't take a whole lot of people, but it takes a few people on the same page. And when they see us working together, they'll say, again, I can do that because what you see is what you want to be. I work with groups of people. I work as an individual because I believe in individual ruggedness and personal power. And I also believe in collective strength. And I also believe in being the leader of a group, okay? Because you have to teach them, you have to hypnotize them, you have to impact them, you have to program them and let them know that they can do it, and then help them how to go inside and believe in themselves and change their mindsets and take action. It's possible.
Good stuff. Listen, we got to go to the final thought. So, weekly, for the past, since we've been here, what is it, a year and a half? For the past year and a half, on Mondays, I come here and do a show about everything under the sun as it pertains to the black community, right? And the reason why I do it is because like I said before, I'm not an attention whore. I don't need the attention. You know, I've been getting attention my whole life, so I don't really need the attention. I said to myself, if I'm going to do a radio program, it has to be a platform that is more like a resource than just a source of escapism or entertainment. It has to be a resource where people, like one of my meditations is before every show, I say, I need this to be the greatest show I've ever done. And I need this show to keep people up at night, tossing and turning, fighting with their inner demons. That's the purpose of this platform. I'm developing topics that will just, the fuck did Zoe say? I got to go research that. Right? It's the whole platform is a call to action. Right? If you've been sedentary in your life, where you're just not moved to do something, I want this show to be that which moves you to do something. And I don't care what the something is. Just do something positive for yourself, for your community, for your family. Do something positive. Do something meaningful. See, anything that is rooted in illusion or escapism is fleeting. Meaning is substantive. Meaning has staying power. Name 3 things in your life that are substantive, that feed you spiritually, that uplift you, that enrich you, that expand you. Name 3 things. And if Drake is one of them, do you understand? No disrespect to Drake. But if escapism is one of them, you wasting the only currency that has any intrinsic value in your life, and that's your time. Listen, the average man lives what? 70 some years on planet Earth? What is that about? 15, 20, 30,000 trips around the sun? How many times? You understand what I'm saying? 70 years? 365 days? How many trips around the sun is that? Shit is ticking down on your ass, and you've done nothing meaningful. You're in a society that has marginalized you from the jump, and your only response is get their education and get the job that they're going to give you because you finished their education. That shit sound crazy than a motherfucker, don't it? That shit sounds fucking berserk. And then if somebody comes along and says, hey, go support your people. My people ain't worth shit. Why would I support some shit that ain't worth shit? I'm trying to get down with the motherfuckers that's worth something. Tell me this isn't the predominant thought. So until we start to value, until respect becomes our religion as a culture, right? Until respect becomes our religion as a culture, right? Until we jettison the belief that, suffering now for the next life to be better, until we jettison that bullshit, there's a lot of things we can do to change our lives right now. First off, we have to be fearless. We have to be fearless. In the book, I talk about FIGO, fear and ego. How fear and ego have been promoted to the status of advisor in our lives. We get hurt. We don't want to feel that shit again. We fear feeling it again. The ego says, I will never feel it again. And they become your advisors. They start making decisions for you. And we've been traumatized in American society. So now, fear and ego. We don't want the white man to come down on us no more. We can't let him know what we're doing. It's like a schizophrenic experience. At some point, we got to get together. And when we get together, I promise you, we're going to do better based on how we relate. That's why I wrote a relationship book. I'm Zoe Williams, and that's my final thought. Let's wrap it up. Veronica, where can they find you, honey?
Blackmastery.com. We're getting down in these boot camps, man. My boot camps are going crazy. So if you want to hit me up and build a business, we're building businesses in 30 days flat. Businesses that are doing 4 and 5 figures in 30 days flat. That's what we're doing. It's amazing. You can reach me at veronicaconway.com.
Wow. So appreciate it.
Daryl Mooney. Reach us at www.thewealthportalinc.com. and get your key to entertainment. Give you all the shows, all the TV, all the new movies. Right now, click store, and you will see the key. And also go to www.Mooney Business and Bank so we can financially fund you and get you paid.
And if you want to get some uplifting, inspiring music and support feeding the world, go to darafortier.com. That's DARAHFORTIER.com.
Fortier.
Dr. Mark, go to goulstongroup.com, Goulston group. We create Gotta Have It. If you can create Gotta Have It, you don't have to persuade anyone to do anything.
I need you guys. Go to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com. Order your copy right now. Like I said, I'm in the midst of a mass mail out. I've been mailing out pre-orders for the last 5 days, and I'm not going to stop until everybody gets their order. Go order it right now, IamZoeWilliams.com, or keep it a top-rated selection on Kindle. It's a top-rated selection right now on Kindle. Go to Amazon.com and order a copy of The Relationship Dismount. I appreciate you all, and as is commonplace, you know, next Monday we're going to have another heater. Zoe What Mornings? Oh, wait a minute. Tune in to Dash Radio tonight from 5 to 7 p.m. on Dash Radio app. That show, The Voice of Reason, is bananas. We got another crazy topic tonight with the girls. It's going to be off the chain. Support the whole movement. Don't forget The Relationship Dismount. We out. Deuces.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.